Welcome to the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. You're watching another episode of the Solid Sports Video Blog. Episode 97. Today's date is March 2nd, 2019. I'm Troy West, and thank you so much for joining me here. Lots to talk about this week. A lot of things happening on and off the world of sports. Off the court, off the field, whatever you want to call it. Basketball, a lot of news off and on the court. We'll get into NBA as the Bucks starting to look like a strong contender, and not just the Eastern Conference, but in basketball, period. Drama with the Lakers, of course, and just talk about things around the league. NFL news: Jason Witten is returning to the field. Just 1 year being a Monday Night Football analyst, he'll be coming back to the field and playing for the Cowboys again. We'll talk about Antonio Brown, his latest news, and the Robert Kraft news. I haven't touched on it a lot, but I'm gonna go talk deep into it. My personal opinion about the whole thing. We're gonna get into that. But first, we always start with baseball. We're gonna start with talk about Bryce Harper. He signed with the Phillies. That was the big news in baseball this week. After Machado signed the week before for 10 years, $300 million. Harper got 13 years, $330. So we'll talk about that. And other little quiet free agents still out there. And I'll give you my top 5 Major League Baseball starting pitchers. But before I start the blog, something I sort of want to get off my chest. Well, everybody know about my history with depression and mental health. Also, my other channel, you could go watch it still. The Open Book with Troy West. Haven't done anything in a while. Been busy. But it's just a place where it's pretty much my journal. It's personal experiences with mental health. Of course, that channel was geared to help other people not feel alone. Some way they can come and even talk if they wanted to. But I haven't been really doing that channel in a while. Part of it because of my schedule, and honestly, I haven't been feeling too bad. I had no major episodes. I've had some, but I didn't share it, and then I don't know how to really put it into a topic. So I might be doing something soon, but I just wanted to vent real quick. I thought about quitting, not my channel, but this part of it, the Solid Sports Video Blog. Honestly, not getting as much support as I thought I would. Like I said, my schedule has been busy. I don't know if it's I guess I just lost a little interest in it. I'm not gonna lie about it. So I thought about hanging it up and just focusing more on the rest of my life. Just been trying to get my life together, as people that know me knows that. But that being said, I can't just walk away from this. I love sports. I love to talk about sports. So for the time being, I'm not gonna shut it down. I want to move it to Fridays. That would fit my schedule, but I'm just gonna keep it at Saturday. Saturday has always been the day. So you expect your blog on Saturday. I lost some subscribers this week, so I guess that discouraged me as well. And I guess I get tired of people just always having a handout all the time. Like I said, I don't mind supporting anyone. Like I said, trade subs sometimes. But I had people I subscribe to their channel, then they would do mine, and then they'd pull it back. Which I think is, this Bush League to me. And it does bother me. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Not saying that I expected this to blow up and me to be all over YouTube or whatever. Like I said, I do this also for myself, to motivate myself, a little hobby of mine. So it's not even the fact that it's not jumping off. That's not even my problem. It's the issue with not getting the support that I thought I was getting or was going to get. Some people that really do support me, I'm not talking about you, and people know who they are. I just don't like the half-ass support. Excuse my language. And I know sports and video games is not a various topic, especially with this is sports. I know it's not. I mean, I have close people that not into sports at all, and even with those people, I'm not saying you should watch every episode or But I guess, like I said, I put it like this, and I've used this example before. And I'm just throwing this topic out there, like let's say, and I'm trying to think about something that's not just women predominant, because there's things, you know. But I guess basically I'm not even gonna use that. But I just want to say this: if anybody I care about was doing anything, as long as it's not negative, I'm going to support them. Even if I'm not interested in it, you know, I still at least sort of support them. I don't feel like I get that from people, and that's basically what I'm saying. There's a lot of things I'm not interested in, but if I know somebody I cared about was doing it, I would still support them anyway. And I've had this talk with a few of my friends before. Like I said, my family is predominantly female, and they don't like, you know, they're not really into sports like that. And, you know, like most of the people I talk to generally are women, so, you know, I understand that. I don't expect you to watch the whole thing. Like, this blog is gonna be long. It's probably gonna be close to 40 minutes, and then me venting is gonna add more time onto that for us possibly. But I'm just saying, if it was it ain't just female. That's why I didn't really use the example I wanted to use, because I'm not saying it's a female male thing at all. But I'm not. It's a lot of things I'm not interested in. But if I know somebody that I care about was doing it, I'm gonna at least try to support them in any way I can. Even if I'm not fully engaged, but I don't get nothing, I feel like. So that's just my personal opinion. And it just discouraged me to why I keep doing it, but I forgot I'm doing this also for myself. And it is probably some loyal people out there that tune in every week, and I feel like it wouldn't be fair to them to quit. But I had the thought of quitting, so I guess I just wanted to get that off my chest before I started today. I was going to say it at the end, but I know if I say it at the end, a lot of people won't hear it. I kind of want people to hear this, you know. And I know people will take it the wrong way, which they always do with me. That bothers me too. I feel like I can never express how I feel. It's always twisted in me, either being selfish or me being mean or me not thinking about nobody else. The only thing I do is think about everybody else. I don't put myself first at all. If you really know me, you know that. So, but that's being said, let's get that out the way. I just wanted to vent and get that off my chest. Let's go and get the blog started. Of course, we always start with baseball here. Baseball season is right around the corner. Spring training. But of course, the biggest news: Bryce Harper signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. 13 years, $330 million. Not surprised. I mean, Phillies was always was a team that was real interested in Bryce Harper. I think the Padres was in it. I think the White Sox, the Yankees, of course. I think it was another team that was interested. It was a couple of teams, probably a lot of teams interested. But as far as the years and the money, Philadelphia was able to come up with both. 13 years is a long time, of course. But I've been hearing some of the experts say, really, this is not a bad deal, because he only getting paid about $25.5 a year, which less than Machado, even though Machado's there for 10 years in San Diego. And Harper is dedicated. Like, he's already on social media recruiting people for other teams in Philadelphia. Saying somebody should come. I think Le'Veon Bell, he reached out to him and said, come play for the Eagles. So he's embracing this city already. And the biggest rumor that I think is fascinating is the Mike Trout rumor. Basically, Trout will probably be a Philly in 2 years. So if he's able to bring Trout here and make other free agents come to Philadelphia, I should say, that is a big. That's the 13 years and $300 million is worth it. I like Bryce Harper overall. A lot of people, he runs some people the wrong way, the way he approached the game sometimes. Little brash, little showboaty a little bit sometimes, but he's definitely talented. You see the talent with the bat and with the glove. I think that's big for the Phillies. Now, as a Braves fan, I'm like, man, dang, you know, why he go anywhere else? I think they said the Phillies are favorite, but I wouldn't put them as favorites because, well, they got decent pitching. They got other, you know, they made a lot of moves. I didn't know they had McCutchen. I heard about that yesterday. I forgot McCutchen signed there. So Philadelphia got a nice little squad. You got Muto from the Miami Marlins. Of course, Jake Arrieta's back there. So they got a decent team. But I'm still going to ride with my Braves. Even though I'm sort of I mean, I'm not too upset that they didn't do a lot of free agency, but the Braves are not known to sign real big free agents anyway. But I mean, Braves got a decent team. I think our team is more steady still than Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is probably another year or so away from really being a contender. But I think they're going to be a pain in the neck this season. So is the New York Mets. The NL East, very interesting. People already count out the Marlins. Maybe you can, but everybody else, the Mets would be a threat with DeGrom and Syndergaard still there. They signed Robinson Cano the offseason. So they'd be talented enough to throw a monkey wrench in things. I mentioned my Braves, the Phillies, and what's the other team in the NL East? I hate when my mind goes blank like this. The Mets, the Phillies, the Braves, the Miami Marlins. Oh my goodness. Dang, I hate when I blank out like this. But we'll get back to that. I'm sorry. The Martian Nationals. How can I feel about the Nationals? That's where Bryce Harper came from. And Nationals still got talent with Max Scherzer, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. So that division is going to be tough. Everybody going to be knocking each other off. But I think my Braves going to still come out on top. But like I said, I'm going to have a big preview show when the season starts. But the signing, like I said, the years to me sort of, I don't want to say bother me, but the years, 13 years, is he going to still be elite by then? Possibly not. But I think it's worth it. And I think they got sort of a deal by only paying them. I'm looking at it year by year, 25.5 million. And still, I think Bryce Harper, they still like 4th or 5th overall in annual salary. So, and then like I said, he's dedicated, and he got no trade clause, so he ain't going nowhere unless he want to. So the Phillies are stuck with him unless he wants to leave, and I don't think so. At least not early, but. Also, so interesting things it was said, like if he struggle, Philly fans probably go jump on him, which, you know, I mean, if you Philly fans know more than me, but I know Philly fans are rough. But I think he's going to do okay. I like Bryce Harper. Kind of, like I said, I'm happy for the Phillies, though. Even though I'm a Braves fan, they're going to be in the way. But it's exciting for baseball that Philly finally got signed. Also, Machado as well. Other free agents, 2 big ones, but I'm surprised. To me, they big. That's not signed. Dallas Keuchel, started pitcher formerly with the Houston Astros. He still haven't been signed. And Adam Jones, I didn't even know Adam Jones was a free agent as an Orioles fan. I thought, you know, he was still an Oriole, but he's out there. Those are 2 surprising names that's still out there that I'm surprised that's not signed. But, you know, it's still spring training just started, so just like in any other sport, somebody will get hurt, and one of those guys to find a job before the season starts for sure. Alright, we still want to talk a little bit more baseball. I'm going to try to do a list every week. Started 5, top 5 started pitchers. That's why I got tied in Major League Baseball. And this is, like I said, this list started pitchers sort of deep that I thought. I was doing some research this morning. When I put this list together, I had to decide who I wanted. I knew a few guys that I had to put in here, but there's a lot of young, good pitchers out there. But these are my top 5, in my opinion. At number 5, Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros. Now, I personally thought he was done. Maybe it was just he needed to change the scenery in Detroit, starting to melt away. Not as contending anymore. Maybe he just wasn't motivated. He got to Houston. Of course, he helped to win the World Series the year before in the midseason trade. And last year, they got far pretty well. And they're going to be good again this year, the Astros. So watch out for them. But Justin Verlander, to me, definitely not just in this list, but all time, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Number 4, Chris Sale of the Boston Red Sox. Had a strong start of the season, got hurt last year, but the Red Sox were still able to win the World Series. David Price turned the corner, and that's somebody else that probably deserved to be on this list, but he's not. Left-hander is always an advantage. This guy's stuff is unbelievable. I've seen him pitch a few times, and he looked unhittable half the time. So I got Chris Sale as number 4 on this list. And number 3, Clayton Kershaw. And I probably a little controversial that he's even on the list if you go by Definitely his postseason history, even though he's pitched better in the postseason of late. But he's just injury prone. Like, that's been a problem for him for years. He's hurt right now again. He's not throwing early in the season. But when he's on, he's definitely one of the best in baseball. So that's why I still had to include him on this list. Hopefully he get better before the season starts. The Dodgers are going to need him. I think that trade, the Yasiel Puig and Matt Kipner, I think that trade hurt the Dodgers to me. A lot of people think they ain't lose a lot, but I think that was some veteran guys on that team. So we'll see how they turn the corners. But I don't feel as good about the Dodgers as I did maybe the last 2 or 3, 4 years. So we'll see. Kershaw will have to come back and have a monster season, but he's third on my list here. Number 2, Jacob DeGrom of the New York Mets. Know what kind of year he had last year on a bad team. I might be off with the number, but I know it was like 12 or 13 starts. He allowed 1 run on food. I think he lost like more than half of those games. So that's telling you right there about the Mets. This guy, like I said, I haven't seen him pitch a lot personally myself, but the numbers don't lie, and this guy is the truth. So I got him number 2. And number 1, as I said, we was going to talk about him, Max Scherzer, and then the Washington Nationals. To me, he's been the most consistent pitcher in the last 5. You better go back 10 years. This guy, every year, you know what you're going to get from him. He's unhittable sometimes. I see him pitch a lot for the Nationals, being sort of a local team, even though the Orioles are local, but Washington is right down the road. This guy's unbelievable. I just got a lot of respect for him. He brings it every day. He just brings it, and I appreciate that. I would with him right now. If I had to pick any of these guys, I feel more comfortable with him taking the ball for me, at least right now. This could change. And there's a lot of other good pitchers out there. Felix Hernandez from the Mariners, even though he's been up and down. Chris Archer, I think of. Like I said, I mentioned Jake Arrieta. There's a lot of good pitchers out there that probably deserve to be on this list, but this is my 5. Justin Verlander, Chris Sale, Clayton Kershaw, Jacob DeGrom, and Max Scherzer, to me, number 1 right now going into this season. I think next week I'm going to do catchers. So it's pitchers to catchers. So I think I'll do top 5 catchers list next week. So make sure you come and join me next week if you're a baseball fan. So speaking of baseball, that's it for it. We'll move on to the NFL. It's the off season, but news don't never stop at NFL. Biggest news this week: Jason Witten coming out of retirement, come back and play for the Dallas Cowboys. Probably a sure shoe-in for the Hall of Fame. But he just said the itch just wouldn't. He's just the itch to come back to play. He couldn't fight it anymore. Yeah, he's going back. A lot of people think Dallas got a good chance to compete this year. So maybe see the opportunity to maybe win a championship and ride off into the sunset again. I'm a little surprised because I was hearing this week that people was criticizing for us. I like them on the Monday Night Booth. You know, like, well, I'm one of those old school type of guys. Like, I like going back to John Mann and Al Michaels on Monday night. Like, that's probably to me still the best Monday night team. I like Ed Gruden and Sean McDonough as well. But I like that this group with Joe Tessitore, who's, of course, you know, he's a boxing genius and voice of boxing when it comes to commentating. But Booker McFarland and Jason Witt, I liked it. I mean, I watched a few Monday night games this year. It was alright to me. I like Jason Witt. To me, he sort of reminded me of Tony Romo. It's like they acted like, you don't feel like they being phony or fake. Now, maybe he might have made a few mistakes here or something like that. I don't know, but I didn't notice it. He was decent to me. So I don't know where all the criticism came from, but he said that was part of the reason why, you know, he wanted to go back and play and things of that nature. But I didn't hear any criticism, but maybe he didn't know more than me. But he was alright to me in the booth. So, and maybe, you know, Monday night, I don't know what they're going to do now because he's gone. So I wonder if they're going to replace him or what. But I didn't mind him in the booth. But he might not be able to get that chance to get Monday Night Football booth is, you know, a prestige job of itself. Honestly, that's one of my dream jobs. I want to do play-by-play. And it'd be an honor to do Monday Night Football every week. But I wish him luck. Dallas is look formidable this year. Zeke and Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott if he approved, and so maybe he sees opportunity to maybe help Dallas get over the hump. Of course, Gregory suspended indefinitely if you hear about that, Cowboys fan, so that sucks. Probably won't play next year, most likely, unless a miracle happens to be. But all my luck to Jason Witten. He's definitely a class act, and can't wait till next year to see him play again. Of course, this dude's been going on all since the offseason, really before the offseason. Antonio Brown went down to Pittsburgh. He formally, officially asked for a trade. But the teams are starting to come out and say they have interest. 3 teams in particular: the Oakland Raiders, which is not a surprise to me. John Gruden probably think he could mold Antonio Brown maybe to help Derek Carr, but still, that's not a. To me, these 3 teams, which I'm about to mention, the quarterback is not set in stone. Even though Derek Carr, this will probably be the best situation out the other 2 quarterbacks. But I'm not surprised by the Raiders with interest. The Tennessee Titans, like I said, same thing I said about Max Scherzer, even though we're going back to, about Closhaw. The injuries, Mariota stays hurt to me a little bit too much. That's his flaw. James Winston's flaw is being in trouble with turning the ball over. But I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a good fit for Brown, because if Brown went with the ball, can these guys get it to him? Even though Mariota, to me, he's proven himself to be, he's not that bad. A lot of people down on him, but I like him. I think he plays pretty well on the field, but he just, I don't know, he just stayed nicked and bruised up. So, and the other team that's interested is the Washington Redskins. Now that, of course, we have the Alex Smith. But it's a rumor out there that the Redskins might try to trade for Josh Rosen of the Cardinals, since the Cardinals are probably looking at taking the young Kyler Murray from Oklahoma. So, but they're the 3 teams that came out and said they're interested. Of course, he came out and said he wanted to go to San Francisco. But we'll see how that goes. But they're going to trade him to the NFC for sure. Packers is also another rumor. That's where he might go. So, but I think he don't mind playing around. I think he just don't want to go to Green Bay because it's Green Bay. Knowing somebody like Antonio Brown, but of course this story will continue to develop. We'll see if he be moved. I think he ain't gonna get moved to probably close to trade check if he get moved at all. I don't think it's gonna be soon. Now I touched on this subject vaguely, but not a lot, because I wanted to get more details. Robert Kraft, of course, you know which kind of trouble he is. 2 misdemeanor counts for soliciting the prostitute down in Jupiter, Florida. It was some type of sex trafficking thing going on in a spa. Robert Kraft came out and already pleaded not guilty as well as denied the whole thing. But more details coming out day by day. They said he got him on tape. Now how much money he paid for it. He paid $100 for basically oral sex, and all that is on tape. So, and I was on reserve judgment. I guess I would just touch on, we're going off sports topic here. This is more, I guess, if you want to call it a moral thing. And then, like I said, I don't judge Kraft for basically paying for sex. Indirectly, people do that a lot, believe it or not, But I guess it's just bad because it's forced. Like, those women that's forced, they basically sex slaves, and that's the biggest issue for me. Now I think he crossed the line. He shouldn't make nobody do nothing they want to do. Period. Not even just sex, just period. No. They living in bad condition. I think they said the hygiene at the place is bad. These women is being treated like slaves. So, but it's people with women out here. People, I want to say women. Like I said, I try not to make it a male-female thing. But people by choice that is doing that, but it's their choice. So I feel like if it's your choice, you do what you want to do, as long as it's not, I guess, not illegal, But this is bad because, like I said, it's the sex trafficking part of it is bad. But as far as him doing that, of course it's embarrassing because you're a public figure, you're a millionaire, you're an NFL owner. So even if this was just some women that wanted to do what, wanted to basically do what these women are doing, but by their choice, it would still be embarrassing to them. Now that part, like I said, I'm not judging nobody. I can't, what I'm saying? I'm not here to judge anyone. It's just the part, if he knows, which I think it's hard for him not to know, that these women is being forced and trafficked, to do these things, then that's where he messes up at, So that's my opinion on the whole thing. A lot of people would have judged and do this, do that. Everybody got, it's like Allen Iverson said. That's why I love Allen Iverson so much, not just because he was a hell of a basketball player, but he spoke the truth, man. He said nobody's squeaky clean. There's nobody in this world that haven't done nothing wrong at all, or does something maybe embarrassing, or they don't want people to know. So like I said, in that part of it, I'm not condemning Robert Kraft, but if he know, which I think he does, that this was a sex traffic ring, then he enabling it, so that's what makes him wrong. Not that he paid for sex, because if somebody want to do that, that's their business. I try not to be judgmental because it's I'm not a perfect person, so. But I think he's in a lot of hot water though. I don't think if he really got him on tape, which I think they do, they wouldn't put this out here. He's pleading not guilty, so he might get something. He might get a big fine, or he might even have to do some months in jail if he's found guilty of these things, which I think he probably most likely is. So, but that's my whole take on it. Of course, more details will come out as they come out. The court date, I think, is March 27th. I know it's the end of March when he got to appear in court. Well, he don't have to. His lawyer could go represent him. But he already pleaded not guilty, so we'll see how this turns out. And we'll see what the NFL do about this as well, which is going to be interesting. A lot of people will probably want Kraft to suffer, not just because of what he did, but people that hate the Patriots is going to want him to pay a hefty price. So we'll see how that turns out. But I mean, as far as him doing what he did, the act itself, it's his business. It's just that if he knows those women are being treated that way and he enabling it, then that's where he messed up for me. So we'll move on to the NBA. Milwaukee Bucks raised my eyebrows as they continue to roll. We got the best record in the NBA. They played the Lakers last night. I watched a little bit of the game. Antetokounmpo didn't score that much, but he still was an impact. Eric Bledsoe, they just signed him to an extension. And they're going to get Paul Gasol as well. Paul Gasol going to get a buyout with the Spurs, and he intends to sign with the Bucks. So the Bucks are trying to make a push to maybe get out the East and challenge the Warriors. The Raptors also still look good. Big win last night at home against the Portland Trailblazers. Kawhi Leonard don't like he missed the beat at all. Like, he looks like one of the best players to be. He was my early MVP. Then they fell off a little bit. Then he missed a lot of games due to rest or whatever. But right now, I give it to Antetokounmpo and maybe James Harden second, and then Paul George, and then maybe Kawhi. But Kawhi is the truth. All-around game, offensively and defensively. And the whole East is just, well, you got your five. You got Milwaukee, Toronto, Philadelphia, Boston, and Indiana still hanging in there. I'm surprised if they're going to hit a wall or not, but I don't think so. I think they will at least finish in that top five. Now, after that, you just got Brooklyn was strong for a while, but they started to tail off. As other teams started to catch up, Charlotte's in the mix, Miami, the Orlando Magic, almost 30 wins this year. Sort of surprised, you thought they would be near the bottom. So that bottom East part is interesting as well. But out west, of course, a lot of Lakers always being talked about. Will they make the playoffs? Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, everybody expect the Clippers to fall off. They still playing well. The Kings can't be ignored. The young guys, they playing well. De'Aaron Fox, and the other young guys, Buddy Hield, those guys playing pretty well in Sacramento. They not going nowhere for a playoff spot. I can't believe I'm not saying Lonzo Ball is a big impact, but I think having Lonzo Ball back will help the Lakers. And they got a rough schedule coming up this week, so I think they play the Nuggets, the Celtics, a couple of other formidable teams this week. So of course, the thing about LeBron, you know, everything's overblown. I think he said something about people criticize about his defense and all that. I mean, I think LeBron is a little bit too sensitive sometimes when he's being criticized. But like I said, I'm always going to be a LeBron supporter because he proved me wrong a long time ago. I doubted him when he was young. I didn't think he was going to be nowhere near this. So, yeah, like I said, to me, which I already mentioned, is probably controversial. I think he's in the GOAT conversation. Yeah, Jordan always probably be that. And he got the 6 titles and all that stuff. But if you bring talent into the equation, he's more athletic than Jordan. He got attributes that Jordan don't have, but Jordan got probably the most important ones, and that's what sets them apart. But the championships, to me, it matters, but it don't matter. Like if you just look at pure talent, and LeBron has done some accomplishments too. Probably not championships, but like going to 8 straight finals, like I said. If you keep thinking about that, that is just, no matter if you're in the East or not, like that's just nuts to be able to accomplish that. So, but I'm still holding out faith. I think they'll make it. I think they'll be one and done though. I think they'll make it. They get eliminated in the first round. The Lakers would, but we'll see. Other than that, not that much other news. Like I said, Taves still emerging. As I talked about these, let's talk about the West now. The Warriors still the Warriors, even though the Nuggets are not far behind. Houston playing a lot better now. They got Chris Paul back, so that's the team to look out for. Like I said, I mentioned the surprise the Clippers has been. Utah and Portland, 2 teams, sort of, not going to say the same, but having the talent, they compete, but can they get over the hump? We'll see, but most likely not. So both conferences are very interesting, and we got about 20 games. Most teams got about 20 games to go till the season's over. So we'll see how that all breaks down. So that is about it. We just covered a little bit of everything that happened this week. Like I said, next week I'll do a top 5 catchers in baseball list. Or if anything else happened in baseball, we'll talk about that next week. More NFL news, something going to happen with the NFL, maybe with AB or something else. Coming up on the channel though, the Division 2, I've been playing the beta. The free beta is this weekend. I think the game will be released March 15th. I think if you get the Ultimate Edition, I guess you get it 3 days earlier, which that's what I'm going to try to do. So that's a project that's coming up. Retro Story stuff will continue. Resident Evil 2, Sonic Mania, and Mega Man X4 are the 3 games on deck there. And like I said, I'm going to probably keep the blog on Saturdays. I was going to switch it to Friday, but I think Saturday is the better option and it's the normal option. So we'll just do it then. If I have to even do it on Saturday nights, sometimes, some weeks, then I do it. I'm not going to switch over to Friday. I made that decision. So, so if anybody heard that, I apologize for their inconvenience. But I want to say thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Thanks to my PlayStation Network followers. Now that's been getting better. It's just my YouTube subscribers been going going up and down. But like I said, when I said in the beginning of the video, I just want a little bit more support sometimes. That's all. But I appreciate the people that do support me. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate anybody that support me. So just want to say enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you guys next week. Keep posted on the retro series stuff and other projects on the video game part of the channel. This is a Solid Sports video blog with me, Troy West, and I hope you have a great Saturday and the rest of the weekend. I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much.